This is KARK4 News at 4.
And we must meet this moment as the United States of America. If we do that, I guarantee you we will not fail.
For the first time, President Joe Biden addressing the nation. In his inaugural address today, he says unity is the path forward. We want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Laura Monteverde in for Mallory Brooks. Thanks for joining us at 4 p.m. Amid recent chaos in the nation's capital, President Biden portraying an honest picture of the many challenges that the country faces, as well as the urgency to end political division in America. Alice Barr in Washington, D.C. with more on why he says he's ready to be a president for all Americans.
Outside the U.S. Capitol that helped shape his life and career, Joseph R. Biden today becoming the 46th President of the United States and vowing to serve every American.
This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge, and unity is the path forward.
The rituals of the peaceful transfer of power taking on deeper meaning in the very spot where a violent mob tried to derail democracy.
It did not happen. It will never happen.
Facing a field of flags in place of the supporters who could not safely travel here, President Biden vowing to beat back the pandemic and bridge the jagged political divide.
We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue.
He explicitly condemned white supremacy on a day when this country marks a milestone moment.
To our first African American, our first Asian American, and our first woman vice president.
Vice President Kamala Harris taking her oath of office and smashing barriers of gender and race.
So help me God.
Her predecessor, Mike Pence, standing by, along with 3 former presidents who joined President Biden to pay respects at Arlington National Cemetery. The outgoing president leaving Washington this morning, the first in 152 years to skip his successor's swearing in, telling a small group of supporters,
I will always fight for you. I will be watching.
President Biden taking his place in the White House in a moment of ceremony and celebration, but also solemnity. The new president immediately getting to work, eager to sign more than a dozen executive orders, including on climate change and mask wearing, also unveiling a sweeping immigration reform bill. The self-proclaimed average Joe, who sought America's highest office for decades, now begins the true test of governing and turning ideals into reality. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton attended today's ceremony. Clinton's inauguration was nearly 30 years ago. He said in a video on Twitter that having the inauguration be a public, clear transfer of power is a way of saying it's going to be okay. In a tweet, he congratulated President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, saying he was honored to witness the inauguration. Quote, in a ceremony that has affirmed our democracy and celebrated the best of what America stands for. I send my congratulations, best wishes, and prayers as they begin their important work. President Biden signing 3 documents today inside the president's room at the Capitol. 2 of those were nominations to cabinet positions and nominations to sub-cabinet positions, many of which are held by women. 12 of the 25 cabinet and cabinet level offices are set to be held by women, pending confirmation by the Senate. That is the highest number since President Clinton's second term. He set the record for 9 cabinet-level positions. For the Biden-Harris administration, 8 of the 12 women nominated or elected to those offices are women of color. The women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated watched their sorority sister make history today. Our Alexis Wainwright spoke with them about the ceremony and what this day means for them.
It's a historical significance behind Madam Vice President Kamala Harris being sworn in today. It's not only the fact that she's the first woman in this role, there's also a lot of pride behind historically black colleges and university graduates, but also women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Donning their pearls and Chuck Taylor sneakers, the women of the Chi Eta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha in Central Arkansas celebrated a historical moment Wednesday, watching their sorority sister Kamala Harris, the first black woman and first person of South Asian descent, being sworn into the second highest office in the country. Although it was supposed to be a moment that they watched in person, they're still thrilled to witness this moment in history.
First thing, I was like, don't cry, don't cry. Because it was overwhelming, to be honest. Of course, we are thrilled, we are elated, but it's such an auspicious occasion, and to see someone that looks like you.
This also inspires a lot of young girls in Central Arkansas. To hear more on this, you can log on to our website. That's krk.com. Reporting in Little Rock, Alexis Wainwright, back to you.
Alexis, thank you. The Capitol Police officer hailed a hero for his actions during the January 6th attack gets a special honor at the inauguration. Officer Eugene Goodman was the escort for Vice President-elect Kamala Harris today. When his arrival was introduced, there was a loud round of applause. Goodman has been promoted to acting Deputy Senate Sergeant at Arms for his heroism. Governor Asa Hutchinson attended today's ceremony. Before it began, he tweeted, "Today, a new president will be inaugurated. I wish the best for Joe Biden as he takes on this immense responsibility." As President George H.W. Bush wrote to President Clinton after the 1992 election, "Your success now is our country's success." Hours after the president's swearing in, Arkansas Congressman French Hill spoke with our Mitch McCoy live on KRK.com, and I noticed him in some of the video, Mitch.
Yeah, and you know, this is something that he looks forward to every 4 years, and it's because this isn't his first one. This is something that Congressman French Hill has been going to for the last 30 years, believe it or not. He congratulated the 46th president, saying from the first inauguration in 1789 that saw George Washington installed as the first American president to today's inauguration, installing the 46th, one constant thing remains: the peaceful transition of power. Congressman Hill did note the massive law enforcement presence out there protecting the ceremony. Take a listen.
My first impression was the incredible 3 perimeters of security around the Capitol, including those from the Arkansas National Guard, that created an environment, heavily secured environment.
You could call it one of the safest cities in America today. French Hill telling me he's prepared to work with President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to increase opportunities for all Arkansans and Americans. You can watch my full entire conversation with the congressman on KRK.com. And Laura, we are hearing from Congressman John Bozeman, also lending, I should say, his congratulations, saying, quote, "I pray for them as they embark on this journey of leadership during a very difficult time for our country. We will work together on the issues we agree on while always maintaining the courage of our convictions." Also, we're hearing from Representative Bruce Westerman. He's saying, quote, "Despite our political differences, I sincerely hope to work with this administration on the bipartisan issues that affect Arkansas the most." A lot of reaction continuing to come in, even at this very hour. We also heard from Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, other state leaders. You can see it all right now on our website at krk.com. Those reactions pouring in as soon as the clock hit 11 a.m. Central Time.
Mitch, thank you so much for that. And still ahead, we take a look at how U.S. allies around the world are welcoming the 46th president. As we go to break, we hear from national poet Lorette Amanda Gorman from today's inauguration.
That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division.